Whatever you do, don't sell the Orientals these items. Wang and Ling have gone into a hardware store somewhere in LA, one of those big ones like Lowe's, Home Depot. And the clerk asks, "What do you want?" And Wang says, "Kitchen sink." And Ling says, "Biggest, heaviest one you got." It's a reference to my Great Wall of Evil that has just me and all these 25,000 plus. Graphic art photos you can find at daffodilia.blogspot.com, DAFFODILIA. Also ChristConflicts2.wixsite.com/daffodilia and vote-truth.blogspot.com as well. There you can find the Mormons Beware. I haven't been feeling well for well over a month now because of insulin poisoning. If you hear something going in the background, it is me making a slideshow video on my computer in the bedroom of one of those things. Actually, I hope it's not one of those things, but for the past week, better part of 2 weeks, it's been a sink. Dr. Roy Jackson came to this apartment. Nurse Flora sent him, and he sounded competent and observant, and he was checking out a whole lot of stuff, and yeah, seemed to know what he's doing. And he said he would be getting me pain medicine, gabapentin, which I'm not sure is the right thing, but I'll go with it. Gabapentin, tramadol, I believe. And of course, I need the sleep medicine, Ambien. Refill for it, it's running out. But he wants to do some tests and all of that, but I spent Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this is Sunday, talking to his office. I want to say Pasadena. I had it on the computer for a nice short parable bite last night. Talking to them, Sylvie in particular, and another man, I believe, either with him or the current home health I'm with. Again and again, back and forth with Total Remedy, who is my pill supplier. They deliver, and it's great for me. I can't always get out, and like right now, I'm just using gold for the image, for the imagery slideshow here for the Sugar Check parable, because yeah, his bolts, his screws, got the big bolt about the size of my thumb that comes out on either side, and that it's not loose, but the ones around it, I'm not sure what it is. I don't know wheelchairs, but the ones on the left came loose. One came out altogether, was missing. I didn't notice the second one coming out until it hit the floor right over there in front of the table there, the dining room table. And excuse me, yeah, Burbank Medical came, picked it up, took a week and a half, somewhere in there, give or take, and they fixed it very well. They fixed the armrest that was coming apart, as Dr. Jackson noted. I will lean to the left a lot, or the other side. That's the spine. I told him, yeah, I've been that way all my life. You should have seen me walking down the street or trying to do anything at all, carry stuff with me walking, leaning over like that. And yeah, went through all of that. Then looked me in the eye. He's promising, we're gonna get you fixed up. We're gonna find out what's wrong. Aside from, let me refer to that what I will refer to as the first big oriental sink. Try to call me. You can't be in that imagery. You can't get imagery design. You can't be, in the 25,000. You don't know who else you can't reach. The number of customers you can't reach. That is, the Great Wall of Evil does more than just keep me alone with Ella and LA skyline. In my imagery, it places a cowardly Hussein in our White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. And I call it gating of your livelihood. Whatever boring thing you get, phone ringing, error misses, busy signal. It's not going to be boring if you need the firemen, police, paramedics. And yes, I guess you can bet if that religious censorship, and that's what it is, attacked us with 9/11. Hussein's a religious name, it's Muslim. Then attacked us from the inside with that cowardly Hussein in our White House. If that censorship stops your phone when your child needs to get to the emergency room, it is going to be just as newsworthy, I bet you can guess. So make the video, you got the timestamp on your phone, you got the number dialed. Whoever's in the room there with you this Sunday, turn around, let them make the video of your hijacked lifeline. Takes this 5 minutes, that's why I call it check in, post in 5. We the people must these reporters call me up in front of reporters, network news anchors, local news anchors, any and all in the public eye. Mayors, governors, senators, especially those in California, they don't know what a 9/11 Flight 93 check is after I've been asking for over a decade with all kinds of attention getting. Remember to ask and answer Jesus' question, is Barack Hussein Obama a terrorist? All soldiers, you protect America from the threat from within. 424-229-4140. Call from the military base. Call from all police stations across America. Call from... it hurts to bend in that way. The muscles are firing up. There's my California Lifeline phone in case you're worried about it just being one number. It's a free phone because I'm poor. My livelihood is gates. Free phone because I'm poor, and it takes a photo and makes a video. You can all make a video of Trump and Hussein's phone gate. Oh, Trump's a buffoon, Russian guy. Compared to each comic relief, compared to Hussein. And yeah, not one 9/11 Flight 93 check in the past decade. Make that video, be the reporter, call me up in front of reporters, network news anchors, local news anchors, any and all in the public eye, and of course all in California. Who's those in bed with those who have been. You have my Oriental, you can call them Eskimo, Great Wall of Evil if you want. Pick up your phone and make a video right now. LA firefighters showed up and were condescending and taunting, and they make sure it's still going. It's a 44-minute one. I put a little at the beginning, so I'm going to have to break it up into 2 or 3. I'll low def it, and then the guy seemed legitimate, seemed concerned. Let me get back to that first sink. Lost 80 pounds in 1 month. Not necessarily the first sink, but a nice big one. Ended up in the Good Samaritan Hospital after, yes, the LA firefighters, salt and pepper team, left me to die at room 433, 6 blocks east of the tallest thing in LA, Baltimore Hotel. Ended up Laura Avery of the San Monica Farmers Market. San Monica's that Saudi Arabian city, about to see the only one I could find to work at. She showed up, and all I remember is her knocking on the door. I couldn't get up to go let her in. She had to go get the clerk. And the next thing I know, I woke up, my wallet's missing. My phone ended up back at room 433, which I was lucky to get stuff out because I was in such bad shape, 80 pounds lighter. You can look for the gory stigmata ones in my imagery somewhere. And that's, yeah, the first one of those. I ended up, after 70 plus days of Good Samaritan, a lot of nice folks there, but at some point in that hospital stay, STARLENE showed up. That's a bizarre name, isn't it? STARLENE? Yeah, it's a foreshadowing. Who knows what it is, but she was as Lori like. Lori's personal knife in the back from Louisiana with her gay husband, Lori Ann Brady Bond, Samuel Lynn Bond. They're in southern Louisiana somewhere. Just look for the angriest couple in the world, yelling and screaming every 20 minutes. But she's very Lori-like. Threw morphine out in front of me to taunt, in one of many ways. But most of the folks at the Good Samaritan are very good. Doctors, the staff. Her and that Lisby one that ended up going I think had something to do with me going to the convalescent hospital from hell, the Burlington, with a manager of nurses that has that same bizarre Lisby quality. I think she was a little Oriental. Then after a year and a half there, and yeah, the corrupt California Assisted Living Waiver Program, not, I better get that sugar check in. Not, it promised they're supposed to move folks out of convalescent hospital type environments, get them back into regular places to live. And why is this every 10th time? And they didn't. They promised a place in Lancaster. Put me in Linwood, Lauriewood, Hatewood, with a corrupt assisted living place. Where I got breakfast, and everything was too spicy to have very sensitive eating because of my subcorpus metabolism, and call it whatever you want. Daddy Carpenter worked on skyscrapers, Mom Mary Ann. I'm subcorpus Mary. I get to tell parables. And yeah, I had to roll down however far it was, 2 miles, to Carl Jr.'s to get a burger to eat. And I used up all my energy rolling down, rolling back. I ended up having to make myself homeless, and yes, they had trouble. They didn't like me eating at about half the time. 3:32 at the convalescent hospital from hell. A minute. So I ended up making myself homeless, ended up on Skid Row at the wine cart again. That's where I started. I moved out here. I guess you could call that sinks before I even started telling everyone about their hijack lifeline and the reason it's your and my Gates livelihood. Yeah, it went from the Salvation Army in Monroe, Louisiana to, yes, the Devil's Couple bought a bus ticket out here for me. And things were starting to go. The Salvation Army was about to trying to find me a place to live. The temp place, I was getting a little work here and there, even though I was almost as sick as I am now, except I could walk. They it looked up there, and so of course the Devil Cup, or at least Laurie, showed up. Took me down to South Louisiana, where they live in Lake Charles, last I heard, and bought me the bus ticket out here, and I was in the wine cart until I ended up working for until a little after I started working for the, I was walking the street, didn't even know about the night shelters when I first got here. And then into the wine cart and worked with the Saudi Arabian City by the Sea, which of course ended in 2014. But I ended up back after the assisted living waiver fiasco, corruption, state officials. Ended up there. Well, let me show you those eyes because it's getting up to 15. I need to check on that by 20. Let me get in the other chair first. I ended up back there and got in with the C3 program, I want to say. Sorry, go. Ran the pedal of the footrest into it. I got into that, got into the AHS program for handicapped, I think. Not sure if they're for others, and that's what got me out here through Housing Works. And now the most recent. I still went to SONY, which the C3 program got me. The doctor, they got me, and bizarrely, as I was out here in Eagle Rock, went back there, did the clinic thing, and he called me up in the middle. Had done some blood work in the middle of a nice slideshow, like I'm making in the next room, with a documentary audio. I hope I don't have to use. I want the doctor to do what he promised, do something for the pain. Sleep medicine, I was going to be running out at the end of the week, or not even in the middle of the week. And sleep is the best pain medicine. It's better than Dolphy something, which they gave me there at the Glendale Memorial. That's where the devil couple worked back in Louisiana and West Monroe. Gave me that, said it was 8 times better than morphine. Demonstrated. Oh yeah, it hit all. Both sides, it just kind of went down, and relief from pain. There's a new concept. Then 2 hours, it was about 2 hours, and by that time they had pushed me out. You'd think you could give somebody something 8 times better than morphine. You're going to, put them in a room. You're going to prescribe pain medicine when they leave. They didn't do that. Dignity Health showed that they are one of those things, and their character too. This is from 2013, before I ended up in the hospital. This is just before I ended up in the hospital in 2014. You can see this is pretty much what the eye looked like most of my life up until then. They started changing in 96 with the trip to the Conway Hospital, Charity Hospital in Monroe, Louisiana. That, dangerously low blood counts, anemia, and then the next, within a year, abnormally high blood counts. I found a stomach irregularity, kind of a little thing in the stomach, that rapidity like spaghetti, selling his soul, at best, just covering up insulin poisoning from Mesa down to Martha Alicia Mesa. At best doing that, at worst, yes, a sink, and worried about those 9/11 Flight 93 takes for over a decade and not getting one. Make that video, post that video. And I'm not sure why. Let me say that that thing I showed you, the 3 something, that is your family's lifeline. It's an electronic device. I don't feel any better, any worse, any different. There's what the eyes look like. The white part's working on the brown. And you see it looks a little bumpy there between the black and the brown and the more brown. I don't feel any different whether it's 94 or well up over 500. As I told a lot of doctors, you're not getting me back on the insulin. Because I know it makes me feel bad. I got the smell of the insulin they had me injecting, the Tricebo. It has a distinctive smell when you put it in a napkin. Paper towel, you eject 2 units to clear the needle, and it has a distinct smell. I had that smell for the longest time, but it seemed like forever, a couple of days. And the bad taste that goes along with it is still here. It is, kitchen sink and prepared because, Sony called me up, interrupted the video I was making right there, and I said, Do you feel any different with this, that, the other putting on a show? And I said, no, I feel the way I always feel. Handsome, witty. Well, I didn't say that at the end. Handsome, witty, clever. Charming. So he had me come in the next week, and oddly his nurse didn't know where her glucometer was. That seemed odd to me. And SONY, Todd, knowing my history with the convalescent hospital, and they were checking me for that. I got insulin a few times. It was within the normal range most of the time. I don't think it certainly wasn't like a 500 or something. In the convalescent hospital, but they did, if they is up a certain level, some of you probably know, they'll give you that fast-acting insulin. I still find it funny that Misa said slow-acting. I mean, it hits like a ton of bricks. You don't feel anything from the insulin. You're just injecting, and it hits you like a ton of bricks later on. But back to SONY Todd, he said, would you have a problem with me injecting insulin? That seemed odd. It seemed odd to me. He did that, put the insulin in the fast acting, I'm assuming. I don't know. And it didn't feel a thing. And at that time also had that, before I switched from SONY Todd to Misa down the street, had that wound on the back, a really big one, opened up a little bit, sent a traveling nurse, I want to say Mila, I'm not sure. Flora is the one who was with her, from a manager of her from SONY Todd. And she's given me 3 different, that green booklet you saw over there is her latest. Seems to switch a lot of home health, from home health. And as part of me, a man in severe pain, calling up, he promised some, why isn't it here? And always sent it to the wrong one, wrong pharmacy, this, that, the other, since Wednesday. And this is Sunday. Flora, Dr. Jackson's office, and I ended up on the old, her second to the last home health one, and she looked into things. And at first she said, I think she's kind of doing double things, trying to work for this one, work for that one, to the present I got. She said, Flora, the second to the last nurse who looked into it, said, well, she's on vacation all week, she's moving. That's what she told me. I assume that's true. Flora told me she's moving somewhere outside of LA. And then she called back the last time, said she's no longer with us. Yeah, that tells me bad practices. I want to know is what is Dr. Jackson, legitimate doctor? He's in the internet book, and he seemed knowledgeable, seemed concerned. I want to know if he's on another kitchen sink, because they're stalling. And yes, that screw coming out on gold after he just got fixed. I got it marked, it came out again in the bathroom before I was going to shower, go to bed. And put it back in, and wasn't enough to go across the street. I'm going to have to take lazy here, not gold, to go get some food Monday or Tuesday, just roll, take my time, the way I always had to. Move about 20, 30 or half a block, or even depending on the day, and stop and go further. I have to go do that. But yes, after fixed in September and October, it's the bolt's out again. This time I put it in, came back, it loosened up, came out again, and the other one loosened too. So there's something wrong with the wheel that's making it do that, I'm assuming, both of them. But now it won't go back in. As far as the screw, I don't know if it's a dust cap, a bearing cap. If the big cap there, the big bolt there does most of the work, it makes sense if something's wrong. But I talked to a very surly, a very arrogant Carlos, Burbank Medical. He says he doesn't know when he can get by and get a loaner and this, that, and the other. Kitchen sinks. I had to call up IHS Pask, and they got me some numbers with SSI. the Medicare folks to what are they doing in Burbank? Why can't I get a different one? They supplied the wheelchair, but there ought to be more than one in LA that can actually do the job. Not being arrogant, condescending, being a sink. You can call it whatever you want. Come see me in person. 424-229-4140. When you can't reach me by phone, remember put those 5s. Before you come out here as a tourist, you check and post 5 with LA's fire department. Ask what you know about that man who's been asking for a 911 Flight 93 check for over a decade and has yet to get one that's about a certified mail as well as 5 minutes. 424-229-4140. If they don't have a good answer, they don't know what a 93 check is, they're telling you don't come out here because the fire department is affected by folks with not the best intentions in mind. Same is true of Dignity Health. Before you send your child, yourself, any loved one to their hospital, you check and post 5 in front of them, asking what you know about John Melton Brady and Edward Rapetti, ignoring that insulin poisoning and the intense pain he was in. What do you know about that? I want my family's lifeline to work all the time. What's your part in it? A whole lot of things. I've run out of time. I'll see you tomorrow. Come see me in person. We'll travel someplace where they actually have doctors that follow through, that aren't corrupt. Lots of with Dignity Health and Adventist and LAC, USC, Cape Medical. I've seen corruption in all 3 active parts, active sinks over the years. Come see me in person. Let's get started building a better world. You see someone besides me, the handsome bald guy in my imagery, me and my hat, my sunglasses, we started to build. Call it whatever you want. Call it an opportunity house, but I have to tell you, it's Jesus' Immaculate House. Come see me in person to get started. Yes, I have to call it Jesus' Immaculate House because it's in the fine print. There will be a test at the end. It's either pass, fail, or purgatory. Pass.